In the world of celebrity, power is everything. You get it, you flaunt it, you protect it. But what if the greatest power of all wasn't about holding on, but about letting go? Today, we're decoding the life of one of Hollywood's most fascinating figures, Keanu Reeves. But we're not just talking about him as an actor. We're looking at him as the architect of a radical life philosophy, a code that's helped him navigate insane levels of fame and, frankly, unimaginable loss. This isn't just a story about a nice guy. No, this is a blueprint for a totally different kind of influence. So let's dive in and decode the system behind the man.
Our story kicks off at this incredible moment. It's 1999. The Matrix has just blown everyone's minds and completely redefined movies. Keanu Reeves is, and this is no exaggeration, the biggest star on the entire planet. He's at the absolute peak, where the whole Hollywood machine is designed to do one thing: tell him he's the center of the universe. And right then, at that exact moment, he made a choice that was a complete rejection of that entire system. This wasn't just a nice gesture. It was a statement. It was the first time the world got a glimpse of his private code.
And the scale of this decision, it's almost hard to wrap your head around. We're talking about a reported $80 million from his share of the profits for the sequels. But here's the crucial part. It's not just the number, it's who got the money. This wasn't some big, flashy charity donation with cameras everywhere. He gave it away quietly, directly to the special effects and costume design teams. You know, the artists and technicians, the people who actually built the world of the Matrix, but who almost never get the spotlight. This quiet, deliberate act was the code in action for the first time.
Which, of course, brings us to the big question we're going to tackle. Why? In a world where power is the name of the game, why would the biggest star on Earth just give it away? Something everyone else is clawing to get more of. Well, the answer is kind of the key to understanding him, and it's a paradox. See, he wasn't really giving his power away. He was changing it, turning the flimsy power of money and fame into something way more lasting, more real. He was playing a different game entirely.
So here's our roadmap for breaking down that power. First, we'll dig into that $80 million decision. Then, we'll look at the incredible losses that really shaped his worldview. After that, we'll define the code itself, what we're calling power through humility, and see the daily systems he uses to live it. Then we'll check out his legacy, and finally, see what we can take away for our own lives.
All right, Section 1, the $80 million decision. This isn't just where we start, it's the moment everything pivoted for him. This is where his private code became a very public action.
To really get this, you have to understand what he was pushing back against. Hollywood is basically a machine that runs on ego. It's all about getting more status, building your brand, and projecting this image of being untouchable. Keanu's decision wasn't just generous, it was a complete and total rejection of that machine. It was a private act of integrity in a world that's obsessed with public image. It's like he understood, way before anyone else, that the only way to stay human inside the crazy vortex of mega fame was to stay humble.
But a philosophy this radical, it doesn't just pop up out of nowhere, right? It's not born when you're successful, it's forged in fire. To really understand why he does what he does, we have to look at the profound losses that shaped him. So that brings us to Section 2, the origins of the code.
You know, his resilience started way before he was famous. His childhood was pretty unstable. He was always moving around, which meant he never really put down roots in the traditional way. He also struggled with dyslexia, and that challenge, oddly enough, taught him something super valuable: how to think outside the box and not rely on the standard way of doing things. All these early struggles built this foundation of self-reliance and kind of forced him to find his own path.
And then, just as his career was taking off, his personal life was hit by a series of losses that are just impossible to process. Early on, he lost his close friend, River Phoenix. Years later, he and his partner, Jennifer Syme, faced the devastating stillbirth of their daughter, Ava. And then, just 18 months after that, Jennifer herself died in a tragic car accident. It's not just one tragedy, it's the relentless, compounding weight of that grief. That kind of suffering, it just changes your perspective on absolutely everything.
And all that loss, it became the foundation for his code. I mean, when you've been through that level of pain, suddenly a bigger house or a faster car or another hit movie, it all seems pretty trivial, right? Life taught him, in the hardest way possible, that all that external stuff is fragile. It can disappear in a second. He learned that getting attached to status and material things just leads to more pain. So he had to find his worth in things nobody could ever take away. Stuff like authenticity, discipline, and being generous.
Which leads us right here to Section 3, the code itself, power through humility. Now we get to actually decode the philosophy that grew out of all that history. And this is so important. This is not just about him being a nice guy. It's a system. It's a strategic, disciplined mindset for how to live your life.
So, here's the core definition. Power through humility is the systematic belief that real, lasting influence comes from actively rejecting your own ego and instead focusing on service and lifting others up. It basically flips the script on the idea that you have to be arrogant to be successful. Instead, it says that respect and real influence are what you get when you stop making it all about you. In this code, humility isn't weakness. It's an active, powerful strategy. It's the ultimate strength.
And this code is really built on 3 core pillars. First, there's the anti-ego protocol. That's the constant, conscious effort to reject all the flashy stuff of celebrity so you can stay grounded. Second is the work ethic of the student. This one means that no matter how successful you get, you always have to work like you're a beginner with everything to prove. And third, the gratitude and service mandate. The idea that wealth and success aren't just for you, they're resources to be shared with the whole team.
So it's one thing to have these ideas, but how do you actually live them every day? Well, that brings us to Section 4, the systems of self-effacement. Because a philosophy is just talk until you build real, repeatable habits around it. And Keanu has these specific systems designed to reinforce his code day in and day out.
The first system is his absolutely uncompromising physical discipline. I mean, for a movie like John Wick, he goes through months of insane training. But this isn't just about cool fight scenes. Think about what it represents. He could easily use a stunt double. He's more than earned it. But his commitment to doing the work himself is a powerful act of authenticity. He's systematically putting himself through the pain and grind of being a beginner over and over again. It's an act of profound humility towards his craft.
His second system is just as crucial: public simplicity. So on the left, you've got the typical celebrity bubble, right? Entourages, private jets, all this complicated stuff designed to keep you separate from normal life. And on the right, you have the Keanu method, riding the subway, wearing normal clothes, just being a person in the world. And listen, this isn't just a quirky personality thing. It is a deliberate system to break down the walls of fame and protect his own inner peace from all the distortion that comes with celebrity.
So what happens when you live by this code for decades? Well, you create something entirely new. A new kind of superstar, a whole new model for what power can actually look like. This brings us to Section 5, a new archetype of power.
His legacy is really this incredible transformation. He went from being a guy the media often defined by his personal tragedies to a global icon. I mean, his name is literally a synonym for kindness on the internet. By constantly rejecting the ego and excess of his industry for more than 30 years, he didn't just survive fame, he completely redefined it. He proved you could reach the absolute top without losing your soul. And this table just lays out the blueprint he created perfectly. The old model on the left was all about me, me, me. Success for personal gain, ego, accumulating more status. The Keanu Reeves Code is a powerful new model. Success for the whole team, radical self-effacement, and distributing wealth and credit. He basically created a roadmap for using success to lift everyone up, not just yourself.
And that brings us to our final section, which might just be the most important one. Section 6, the final lesson. Your code. Because the best ideas aren't the ones we just admire in other people. They're the ones we can actually use in our own lives.
So the huge lesson from the Keanu Reeves Code is really a question for all of us. How can you find power not in what you can collect for yourself, but in what you can give away? In our own jobs, in our own lives, how do we shift the focus from what can I get to what can I give? It could be something as simple as sharing what you know with a junior colleague, or just making sure the right person gets the credit for their work.
Here are 2 concrete steps inspired by his code. First, adopt your own anti-ego protocol. Just consciously ask yourself, am I doing this for the work or for the credit? Challenge your own need for status. And second, implement the work ethic of the student. Never let yourself believe you're too successful or too experienced to do the hard, unglamorous work. That's where the real growth happens.
Because at the end of the day, Keanu's entire legacy is built on one simple, powerful truth that applies to every single one of us. Fame is temporary. So are job titles, so is wealth. All that stuff comes and goes.
But character, that sticks around. The applause will fade, the numbers will be forgotten, but how you treated people, the integrity you showed, the quiet dedication you brought to your work, that's the stuff that actually lasts.
He managed to turn unimaginable loss and unbelievable fame into a system of power through humility. And he leaves us with this one final, unbreakable rule that really defines his whole life. The moment you stop seeking credit is the moment you gain ultimate power.